Hey everyone, in this video, I'm going to show you how to set up Claude as an AI assistant right inside your GitHub workflow. So what this means is you'll be able to tag it in a comment on any issue or pull request, and Claude will help you do things like fix bugs, implement small features, and also give you feedback on your code. I found this is a really practical way to get help with day-to-day coding, whether you're working in a team or just by yourself. Having Claude integrated into GitHub is just incredibly useful. It only takes a few minutes to get this working, and I'm going to walk you through the whole process step by step. So by the end of the video, you'll be able to have Claude integrated with GitHub, and you'll be able to tag it in a comment, and it will be able to implement code for you and also review your code as well. All right, so the first thing I'm going to show you is the documentation for Claude Code and how it integrates with GitHub. So the way Claude Code integrates with GitHub is through GitHub Actions. And there's a really easy way to set this up, which I'll show you shortly. But essentially, you can use Claude Code with GitHub Actions to automatically fix and implement PRs. So if you've got a GitHub issue, you can just go and tag Claude in that issue, and it will open a PR to fix that issue for you. You can also use it for reviewing your code and just also as a conversational agent within GitHub itself. And the documentation down here for the quick setup is really straightforward. You will need to have the GitHub CLI installed in order for this to work. But once you have that installed and you've also got Claude Code installed, you can just run this single command called install GitHub app. And what that's going to do is going to create a GitHub Actions file, and it's going to set up your API keys and just push that up to GitHub so that you'll be able to get started straight away. It does talk about this down here. You need to be a repository admin to add secrets, and also you're going to need the GitHub CLI, which I did mention as well. You can do this manually as well. You can take a look at the GitHub action file that it creates, and I'll show you in a second, but you can also do this manually. You can add the GitHub action, and you just need to configure your API key for this to work. So there's a couple of example use cases here which really demonstrate how we would use this inside GitHub. So we can ask Claude to essentially, if you've got an issue in your GitHub project, you can just tag Claude in a comment and say, go ahead and implement this issue for me. This is just a really powerful thing to do. I generally recommend only using this on smaller, small issues. I don't recommend it for large features because you're going to need a human in the loop to go through and plan the feature. But for smaller things like documentation updates, like small bug fixes, you can just go ahead and now have Claude act like a junior developer in your team who can just go ahead and fix bugs and raise pull requests for you. You can obviously ask for help within a comment. So you can say, Claude, how should I implement user authentication? And you can also just go ahead and fix bugs as well. And if you've opened a pull request, you can add Claude in the comment, and you can just ask it to review the code and give you feedback, which we're going to see in a second. So the first thing you're going to need to do is actually go ahead and install Claude Code. If you're not using this, Claude Code is, in my opinion, the best agentic coding tool that is available to us right now as software engineers. It's incredibly powerful. It has a planning workflow where it'll plan the work step by step and execute. It's a CLI-based agent, which is really, really great because it means it can run in any editor. Unlike something like Cursor, which is very bound to Visual Studio Code, I love the fact that Claude Code can be run in the terminal because it means you can run it in the terminal, but you can also run it inside your IDE as well. This is especially useful if you don't use Visual Studio Code. For example, if you're a Java developer, you're not going to be able to use Visual Studio Code day to day. Okay, so just as a quick example of what this looks like. So this project is a set of Python AI agents that I've been building. And inside this project, I have a GitHub workflow. And what you'll see is there's a claude.yaml. If you take a look at what's inside this file, you'll see that it has a bunch of actions. So if there is a comment on an issue, if there's a pull request review, or if there's an issue and it's got Claude inside the issue, then this workflow is going to run. And it's got your Anthropic API key here as well. All right, so this is how it looks in action. So this is a pull request that I raised, and then I asked Claude, please, can you review this code and give your feedback? And it ran, and it just generated a ton of code review feedback. Clearly, this wasn't a very good pull request because there was a lot of feedback. But as you can see, it's really powerful to get Claude to give you feedback on your pull requests, especially if you're working in a software team and there's no one around to review your code. It's a great way to get feedback almost immediately. All right, so let's go and set this up in a project. So I just have a random project that happened to be in my home directory here. And so if I take a look at this project, I already have Claude set up for this project. Essentially, it's a set of N8N workflows that I've built, and I have a load of kind of custom Python scripts here. So what I want to do is go ahead and connect this project with GitHub and Claude. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start Claude. All right, so now we have Claude Code running. And so what we can run is / install GitHub app. So we're going to say / install GitHub -app. And when we run this, it's going to check that we have the GitHub CLI already installed. If you don't, it's going to give you a warning. But if you do, we're going to use the current directory. So we're going to go ahead and click OK. All right, so now it's setting up the GitHub workflows. And we're going to ask it's going to ask if you want to use your existing API key. I'm going to say yes. And it's basically going to create a branch, the workflow files, which is the YAML file for GitHub Actions. And then it's also configuring your secret on GitHub as well. And now what it's doing is it's going to open a pull request, and we can merge this into the project to get it all set up. All right, so if you run this command, essentially what happens is now we've opened a pull request, or Claude has. And you can see here, this is an amazing pull request. It's got a fantastic description. This is one of the reasons why I love using AI within my workflow as a software engineer, because Claude is incredibly good at writing detailed commit messages and pull request descriptions as well. You can use Claude to do your commit messages, and it will give a fantastic message every single time. So here we have install the GitHub app. So we're just going to go ahead and merge this. But before we do, let's take a quick look at the files. So as you can see here, it's added a Claude Code Review YAML. It's also added this kind of Claude workflow as well as a GitHub workflow. All right, so let's just go ahead and merge this. So I'm going to go ahead and create a pull request, and then I'm just going to go ahead and merge that. All right, great. So now we should have within this project, we should now have this GitHub workflows file. And if we go and take a look at what's in here, we have two files. We have Claude Code Review and a Claude YAML as well. So just the Claude YAML will basically react anytime we have a comment or a pull request or a GitHub issue and we tag Claude. You can see this @Claude symbol here. So anytime we tag Claude, it's going to run this workflow. And you can see here it's created the Anthropic API key. So let's see if we can go and test this out. So what I'm going to go and do is something really simple. So let's go ahead and raise an issue. So I'm going to create a new GitHub issue. And what we're going to do is just add a license file to the project. So add license to the project. So please, can you add a MIT license to this project? Ensure that the license is updated in the README. Okay, so we've given a pretty detailed description of this task. Let's go ahead and create the task. And so now what we need to do is see if Claude can go and implement this task for us. So I'm just going to go ahead and say @Claude. I'm going to say @Claude. Please go ahead and implement this change. Open a new PR. So when you add a comment, it should trigger the GitHub workflow and Claude should eventually respond. Okay, so Claude has registered that we've invoked it and it's just working, doing its magic in the background. You can go and check out the job run and we can go and look at the branch it's created as well. So I'm just going to let this run. One of the things I really love about Claude Code is, as you can see, even when it's working on a simple feature like this, it does a really thorough job about planning and it makes a checklist. This is one of the reasons why I really love Claude Code. It's very good about planning step by step how to go and implement a particular task. And as you can see, as it goes through the task, it's actually checking off each single step of the task as it goes. All right, so as you can see, when you click this button, you're able to open a pull request. We can go and take a look at the code changes that Claude did. You can see here that Claude has added an MIT license file, and then it's updated the README. It's done exactly what we asked it to do. And this is just like a great use of Claude Code for these kind of small tasks that would take you quite a while to do, or they were quite, just general annoying tasks. You can just go ahead and get Claude to do them for you. So we're going to go ahead and create the pull request. Okay, so as you can see, Claude Code is now, not only did it create the pull request for us, it's also reviewing the pull request as well. So this is like an amazing example of how you can use Claude inside your workflow. All right, so this is the pull request review that Claude has done. I'm always blown away by how good Claude Code is. This is a really excellent review. And for a change of this size, like you would never get a human to review a pull request as thoroughly as Claude Code has just reviewed it. This is a great example where AI can actually make your software engineering team better, because this is just like a really high quality review. It's reviewed every single aspect of the change, including the file placement, the naming conventions. This is just like an incredibly thorough code review. So this is just a brilliant example of how good Claude Code can be inside your team. So all checks have passed. Claude Code has now not only implemented the change for us, but it's also done a really thorough code review as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and merge this pull request. So as you can see, Claude Code is an incredibly valuable part of your workflow as a software engineer. And if you don't already have it integrated into GitHub, I definitely recommend giving this a try. Very quick and easy to get set up, and it's just an incredible addition to your development workflow. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it useful. I definitely recommend integrating Claude with GitHub. It's the best coding agent around, in my opinion, and it's really going to help you in your day-to-day workflow, especially so if you're working in a software engineering team. Thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.